Today in this lecture, we will discuss one more variation in the amplitude modulation, and it is known as a single sideband suppressed carrier technique. And in short, also it is known as a SSB technique. It is called SSB, SC, or we can call it a SSB technique. So let us see what we have discussed in the previous lecture. In amplitude modulation, the amplitude modulated wave is given as a Vm equal to Vc sin omega Ct plus Ma Vc by 2 into cos omega c minus omega m into t plus Ma Vc by 2 cos omega c plus omega m into t. So this is our original amplitude modulated wave. Then we have discussed a DSPSC technique. So in DSPSC technique, we are suppressing the carrier, and only the lower sideband frequency and upper sideband frequency is going to be transmitted. The expression is given as MAVC by 2 cos omega c minus omega m into t plus MAVC by 2 into cos omega c plus omega m into t. Now let us see what is the difference in these two techniques. So basically in an amplitude modulated wave, we have a carrier component, the lower sideband as well as the upper sideband components are there, and all these components is going to be transmitted. Carrier frequency, the lower sideband frequency, Fc minus Fm and Fc plus Fm, all these frequencies transmitted. Now every component has also a power, and we have seen that the maximum power is with the carrier, that is the 2/3 power is carried by the carrier wave, and here if we see that the 1/3 power is carried by a sideband frequency. So basically we know that the carrier is not carrying the information is carried by only the sideband frequency, and that's why in a DSPSC technique, the carrier is going to be suppressed. Means the carrier is not going to be transmitted. Only we have the information with the lower sideband frequency and upper sideband frequency. So in this technique, the Fc minus Fm as well as the Fc plus Fm, these two sideband frequency is going to be transmitted, and we can save the power of 2/3. So here now the only 1/3 power is required for the transmission of a sideband frequency. So now here if we look at in both the technique, then if we calculate the bandwidth, already we have calculated the bandwidth for a AM is a 2 FM. And in case of the DSPSC also, we have calculated the bandwidth, and this bandwidth is given by DSPSC. Here also it is a 2 FM. So there is no change in the bandwidth. But we know that whatever the information is carried by the lower sideband frequency, the same information is also carried by the upper sideband frequency. So in DSPSC technique, we are transmitting both the sideband frequency, and that's why the bandwidth is not going to change and it is remaining as it is 2 FM. So if the information is same in both the sides, then why we can suppress the one of the sides then for saving the bandwidth. So here in a SSB technique, means single sideband suppressed carrier technique, only one of the sideband frequency is going to be transmitted. So as a result, the bandwidth of the signal is reduced, or you can say the bandwidth of the system is also going to be reduced. Not only that, the power saving will be also there, because here in this case the sum of the power, that is a 1/6 of the power, is carried by the lower sideband frequency. 1/6 of the power is carried by the lower sideband frequency, and the 1/6 power is carried by the upper sideband frequency. So if we transmit only one of the sideband frequency, then we can also save one more power, that is 1/6 power of the carrier, and so in this way we can have a advantage that we can reduce the bandwidth as well as we can save the power also, and therefore we have another type of the technique which is called a single sideband suppressed carrier, or you can say it is a SSB technique. So let us see what will be the expression for a SSB technique. So here in a SSB technique, I already mentioned, either you transmit a upper sideband frequency or you transmit a lower sideband frequency. So we can write the expression for the SSB as NAVC by 2 into cos omega c minus omega n into t, or we can say the SSB signal is given as NAVC by 2 into cos omega c plus omega n into t. So here when we write omega c minus omega n, means here the USB is suppressed, means upper sideband frequency is going to be suppressed, only the lower sideband frequency is transmitted. When we write the expression a cos omega c plus omega n t, means your upper sideband frequency is transmitted, but the lower sideband is going to be a suppressed. Correct? So in this way we can have a SSB technique. Now let us see what will be the frequency spectrum for the SSB technique. So here already you see that expression contains only one frequency. So in a frequency spectrum also we have to mention only one of the frequency, either a lower sideband frequency or a upper sideband frequency. So here in this case, if I am transmitting a lower sideband frequency, then we can draw a frequency spectrum in this manner. This is my SC minus FM will be there. Then here you can have a carrier frequency FC, and here there will be a FC plus FM is present. Correct? But here in this expression, the FC is not there, therefore I am mentioning this with the dotted, and the FC plus FM is also not present, that's why you have to represent with this dot. Means these both the frequency are suppressed, only the lower sideband frequency is going to be transmitted. What is the amplitude of the lower sideband frequency? So it is MAVC by 2. So this is a frequency spectrum for a SSB. If I will draw a frequency spectrum for this where we are transmitting a upper sideband frequency, then you can mention it with this arrow, and that is the amplitude is MAVC by 2. Here the carrier frequency is suppressed, and as well as the lower sideband frequency is also suppressed, so you can draw in this way. Okay. So this is the frequency spectrum for a SSBV. But actually if you see here in this frequency spectrum, we have considered only a single modulating frequency, and that is FM. But we know that our information contains the number of the frequency. Information will be from a 20 Hz to 20 kHz. So number of the frequency are going to be present. So actually if we draw the frequency spectrum, then this frequency spectrum will be like this. So here we have a carrier frequency. It is not there, therefore I am representing with this a dotted line. And Fc minus Fm is present. So here in Fc minus Fm, the frequency will be from 20 to 20 kHz. So here maximum frequency is, let us say, a Fc minus Fm, and the number of the frequency are going to be present here. So this is my information. You can say it is a lower sideband. Okay? And if we draw this for this, then again we represent this with the carrier with the dotted line. Carrier is represented with the dotted line, and somewhere here we have a maximum frequency Fc plus Fm. Upper sideband is there, and the number of the frequency are present in the modulating signal. So my lower side upper sideband frequency will be like this. So here we have this information. Okay. So in this way you can draw a frequency spectrum for the SSB wave. Now let us see how we can produce the SSB wave. Generation of SSB. So basically for this generation, first of all we have to generate the DS-DAC wave, and then the one of the sideband frequency is going to be a suppressed. And how we can generate the DS-DAC wave? That last time already mentioned that we can use a product modulator. Product modulator is nothing but it is a kind of a multiplier circuit. So if you see this diagram, then the simple block diagram is like this. So actually here the message signal is there, and that is nothing but it is my a modulating wave, or you can say modulating signal is there, and that is a Vn. It is applied to a product modulator. Then another input to this product modulator is a carrier wave. So it is a Vc. Correct? And here we have a product modulator. Product modulator in the DS-DAC already mentioned that in the output you will get Vm into Vc. Product of both the wave will be there. But actually if you do this, or if you write a mathematical analysis of this, then you will find a MAVC a cos omega c minus omega m into T and plus NA VC by 2 cos omega C plus omega M into T will be present. Remember, the output of the product modulator will contain a lower sideband frequency as well as it will contain the upper sideband frequency. Then we have a band pass filter. So the band pass filter means which sideband frequency you want to suppress. Accordingly, you have to design the band pass filter. Suppose you want to transmit a low sideband frequency. Here we want to transmit a cos omega C minus omega M in this frequency. Then the band pass filter we have to use, which has a one of the cutoff frequency of omega C minus omega M, and another cutoff frequency will be a omega C. Then this band pass filter will allow only this much frequency, and the rest of the frequency means the upper sideband frequency is going to be suppressed by this. So here if you see, now see what should be the characteristics. Characteristics of the band pass filter, already you know that here it will allow a in between frequency. Here if we have this frequency against this output voltage, then this band pass filter has a lower cutoff frequency F1 and the upper cutoff frequency F2 is there. The bandwidth is given as F2 minus F1. So if you want to transmit a lower sideband frequency, then what should be the F1 and F2? So in lower sideband frequency, Fc minus Fm is a lower cutoff frequency, and the Fc is my upper cutoff frequency. Remember, this is the F1 and this one is the F2. So here the characteristics of a band pass filter will be like this. Here it will allow a lower sideband information, and upper cutoff frequency is a carrier. So if we use a band pass filter of this F1 and F2 cutoff frequency, then the lower sideband is going to be transmitted and the upper sideband frequency is going to be suppressed. So here in this case, if we calculate the bandwidth, then the bandwidth is given by a maximum frequency minus minimum frequency, that is F2 minus Fm and Fc minus Fm, and here if we calculate, this bandwidth comes out to be it comes out to be a Fm. So here now you can see the difference. In a amplitude modulation technique, in a DSBSC technique, the bandwidth was a 2 Fm because the two sidebands are transmitting. Here only a single sideband is transmitting, and therefore the bandwidth is reduced to a Fm only. So here this is a case where we are transmitting a lower sideband. Now suppose that if we transmit a upper sideband, then what should be the F1 and F2? Then in a upper sideband frequency, my characteristics of a band pass filter should be like this. Then this is my a lower cutoff frequency and this is my upper cutoff frequency. So Fc is a F1 and the Fc plus F1 is a upper cutoff frequency, and in this case if we calculate the bandwidth, then this is Fc plus Fm minus Fc. So again you will get a bandwidth of Fm. So the bandwidth, so what is important? In a single sideband, the bandwidth is going to be a half. And if the bandwidth is reduced, then you can transmit a more number of the channel within a given a frequency spectrum. So that is the advantage of a SSB, that the bandwidth, required bandwidth is very small. Correct? Now, look at this. That how much power we can save. Saving of the power. Correct? So, as we know, in SSB technique, we transmit only one of the sideband. Therefore, the power is also due to either a lower sideband frequency or due to the upper sideband frequency. So, PLSB, or you can say, the power of a SSB wave is nothing but either it is the power of a lower sideband or it is the power of a upper sideband. Correct? And the power means we can calculate with the formula V square by R. So what is the amplitude of a lower sideband? It is a MAVC by 2 whole square divided by R. Then I already mentioned that VC is representing the peak value. So here using this formula, if you calculate, you can find out the maximum power. But normally we calculate the average power, RMS power. So this has to be converted into a RMS. So MA VC by 2 divided by root 2 whole square divided by R. And this is equal to MA square by 4 into VC square by 2R we can have. And we know that VC square by 2R, that is the carrier power. So here this is a MA square by 4 into PC. Correct? So this is the power of a SSB wave. Either you calculate for the lower sideband or for the upper sideband, then here the PSSB is a MA square by 4 into PC. So if we have MA is equal to 1, then my PSSB will be a PC divided by 4. Means this indicate only 1/4 of a carrier power is required to transmit a SSB wave. Remember, that is important. Here, this indicates that only 1/4. 1/4 means the 25% of the carrier is required to transmit the SSB wave. Okay. So now let us see what will be the power saving. So here we calculate the power saving in percentage. So percentage of power saving we can write as power of the amplitude modulated wave minus power of the SSB divided by power of the amplitude modulated wave. So we are comparing with the amplitude modulated wave. Correct? You can also compare with the DSBSC. So PA minus PSB divided by PA. So we know that this is a PC into 1 plus NE square by 2, and the power of the SSB is NE square by 4 divided by PC into 1 plus NE square by 2. Correct? So here the PC is there. So this PC will be cancelled, carrier power is going to be cancelled, and here NE square by 2 minus NE square by 4. So this will come out to be 1 plus NE square by 4, and the denominator we have 1 plus NE square by 2. Correct? So this is, with the help of this, you can calculate the power saving. Now let us say that if MA is equal to 1, then the percentage of saving, power saving will be equal to 1 plus 1 by 4 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2. So this is 1.25 divided by 1.5. And for percentage we have to multiply by 100 and this will come out to be 83.3%. So 83% is going to be saved if we use a SSB technique. Only a 16 to 17% is required for the transmission of the SSB wave. And that 16 or the 17% is nothing but it is a one-sixth of your total power. Now, this whatever the saving of the power is there, also it depends on a modulation index. Here we have calculated for a MA is equal to 1. Now, same thing if we calculate for MA is equal to 0.5, then percentage of saving will come out to be a 1 plus 0.5 whole square divided by 4 divided by 1 plus 0.5 square divided by 2, and this will come out to be round about a 93%. So, as the modulation index will be less, then the more power saving will be there. So, in this way, the SSB technique has two advantages that the required power is very small, only a 1/6 of the total power is used for the transmission, and another advantage is that bandwidth of the system is going to be also less, and that is only a FM. Now, if you see what is the waveform of the SSB wave? If you look at this wave, then this is nothing but it is my modulating signal. Modulating wave is present and it is also known as the information signal. Correct? Then we require a carrier wave. So here the frequency is FM, here the frequency is a FC. But if you look at this SSB wave, either it will take frequency here. This frequency will be either a LSB or it will be a USB. Here it is a kind of a USB is present. So this frequency is FC plus FM only. FC plus FM. And if you look at this expression, then the VSSB is given by MAVC by 2 cos omega C plus omega m into T. So here we have only one frequency. That's why you can see a single frequency. But the another important thing is that what is the amplitude? It is MAVC by 2. So this amplitude is not going to change. It is not going to increase or decrease. This amplitude of the wave is remaining constant. Means like an amplitude modulated wave, there is a information with the envelope. Here SSB wave doesn't have any information. But this envelope doesn't contain any information. Remember. And that's why it is difficult when we receive the SSB wave. We cannot use a envelope detector for recovering the information. The circuit is going to be complicated, and that's what we have to pay for the SSB technique. The receiver circuit will be complicated because this envelope doesn't have the information. So we have to use another technique, and the circuit is going to be complex. Correct? So remember, that SSB wave, that its amplitude is remain constant, and that wave will also have only a single frequency, either a Fc plus Fm or a Fc minus Fm. Now look at some example. A 400 watt carrier is amplitude modulated to a depth of a 100%. Means my modulation index here it is given Ma is equal to 1, and the carrier power is given Pc is equal to a 400 watt. How much power saving is achieved for the SSB compared to AM and the DSBSC? So we have to calculate the power for AM wave, for DSBSC wave, and then we calculate for the SSB wave. So the power of the AM wave is given as Pc into 1 plus Ma square by 2, and if we have Pc is given a 400, 1 plus, we are calculating for a 100% modulation index, so here this will comes out to be a 600 watt. So if we have the amplitude modulation, then the required power is 600 watt. So that is, let us say 1. Now if I am using a DSBSC technique, then the power for the DSBSC is given as the Ma square by 2 into Pc. Correct? And therefore, this is 1 by 2, and what is my Pc? It is a 400, so 200 watt will be there. If I will calculate the power for a SSB, then the expression is Ma square by 4 into Pc. So it is 1 by 4 into a 400, so here we have a 100 watt. So now what we have to calculate? The power saving for SSB compared to AM. So power saving compared to AM means the PAM minus PSSB. PAM is a 600, and here the SSB is 100, so the power saving is 500 watt. Remember. Then power saving compared to power saving compared to DSBSC. So P DSBSC minus PSSB. So what is the power of this? It is a 200 minus 100, and this the power saving is a 100 watt. Okay. So in this way, if we have a simple modulation, then the 600 watt power is required, total power will be there. Then DSBSC 200 watt, and in SSB 100 watt is there. Now what is the second question? That if the depth of the modulation is changed to a 75%, then how much power is required for the SSB wave? Remember that here in a second part of the example, modulation index is given a 0.75. Then you have to calculate how much power is required for the transmission of a SSB wave. So that PSSB is given by Ma square by 4 into Pc. So 0.75 square divided by 4, and what is the power of the carrier wave? It is a 400. And here if you calculate, then this will comes out to be 56.5 watt. 56.25 watt. Okay? So in this way you can solve this example. Now let us see another example. This is a simple example. An SSB transmitter radiates 0.5 kilowatt when the modulation is 60%. So here the percentage of modulation is given a 0.6. It is 0.6. How much carrier power is required if you want to transmit the same message by a AM transmitter? Remember, the SSB power of the SSB transmitter is given. PSSB is 0.5 kilowatt. Correct? Now if you want to transmit the same message by a AM transmitter, so here you have to find out PAM. Correct? And for that we have to calculate the first of all a carrier power. So in case of the SSB, we know that PSSB is given by MA square by 4 into PC, and therefore the PC will be equal to PSSB divided by MA square by 4, and this is equal to a 0.5 divided by 0.6 square divided by 4, and this will come out to be a 5.56 kilowatt. Remember, this is a 0.5 kilowatt is there. Here, this is kilowatt. So this is also a kilowatt. And so carrier power. Remember, the carrier power is 5.56 kilowatt. Now you have to find out a total power for the AM transmitter. And for the AM transmitter, we know that power of the AM consists of a power of the carrier wave plus the power of the lower sideband and the power of the upper sideband. Correct? And therefore, this is a 5.56 kilowatt. Now, what is the power of a sideband frequency? It is a given. That is a 0.5. PSSB means what? It is a power of any one of the sideband frequency. So it is a 0.5 kilowatt, and the power of another sideband frequency is a 0.5. So actual answer is a 6.56 kilowatt power will be there. So if you say SSB, then the power is 0.5. But if you have a amplitude modulated wave, then the power is a 6.56 kilowatt. Okay. So now dear friends, so in the next lecture we will discuss another technique which is known as a vestigial sideband technique, and it is a very important technique because it is used in the television. So in television, whatever the video information and the sound information we receive, so in that case the VSB technique is used. So we will discuss in the next lecture.